started here. Thank you, Dale. So next, Jim Glasheen is a general partner with Technology Partners, where he leads the firm's efforts in consumer medicine, investing in both medical device and biopharmaceutical companies. Jim has had his research highlighted in major media outlets, including Nature, the New York Times, Scientific American, and CNN. Jim? Doug knows.
All right, I'll figure it out. Tough crowd to follow. It's not often I'm the second speaker to get up on the stage that's the son of the dyslexic son of a cop. Yet that's happened already. But I do have something to add. Following Doug, Darius, and Dale, I'm the first speaker with a name that starts with something other than a D. But I'm certainly not an education expert, and makes it somewhat intimidating to have to speak to all of you. But I do have one source of expertise beyond being the son of a first grade teacher, the husband of a high school teacher, and the father of a fourth grader. Perhaps most importantly, I was a student, something that we're all reflecting on, and perhaps that's what really affects the way I think about education. So why don't I draw on that experience? And so in my vast research, looking at a very large sample size of one, what was my experience through the educational process? Well, I thought about two things. One was how much I liked school and engagement, and perhaps how well I did in terms of achievement. And being the youngest kid with three older sisters, you can imagine I was perhaps quite eager to go to school. You'd be right, to get a little space, and I loved it. As soon as I arrived at school, I loved it. And to Dale's point, the thing I loved was they had a great set of blocks. And so I could build blocks all day, but that's all I did. And so nothing else in the school really interested me. And so did I mention my mother was a first grade teacher? She caught on to this, but at the end of the year in first grade, I realized I had no skills. And so I was given the opportunity for another time of going through first grade. And so I got to do first grade again, and with very different sorts of teachers, ones that like to crack the whip and make me work somewhat harder in school. And that sort of continued on throughout the remainder of grammar school. And so I upped my output marginally, but boy, did I hate school. And so I powered through school, but I wasn't having any fun. But that all changed. As junior high school and high school came around, a new dynamic emerged, and that was I realized that the tracking within classes, that many of my friends were tracked in more advanced courses, and me not so much. And so I upped my game again, and this time it was to compete. I just wanted to compete and strive to catch up with the friends who I thought I should try and beat, but I still hated school. So I totally wasn't interested in any of the academic process. But then in college and grad school, I had the opportunity to just find stuff that inspired me and drove me. And from there, academic achievement was a side effect. I was just interested in what I was doing. And so, as I reflect back on this experience, it strikes me that along the course of my academic career, different things drove me at different times. Different things gave me motivation, whether it was the whip cracking, the running of the race, or truly the pursuit of truth. And there was also a fair amount of failure along the way as well, whether it was flailing at my very first attempt in school and needing to do a take two, being tracked below where I thought I wanted to be, or the many different failures I had in transitioning from high school to college. I had a plenty of it. And so how does this tie together with our whole theme of innovation and education? Well, you know, as I think about the companies that I'm involved with, and as we're looking to pull in talent to help with our companies, one of the biggest things we look for, yes, there's specific skill sets, but there's also certain character traits. And if I were to boil it down to a single character trait that we look for, it's stick-to-itiveness. And it's not only for what that trait gives you in there, but I think it suggests that there's a series of other traits underneath. And so what might those be? One is its motivation, that someone's able to figure out how to motivate themselves. And, you know, and as I highlighted in my little example there, that there's different motives, right? Whether it's the running of the race, just grinding through things, or the pursuit of truth. Those are all there. And perhaps they're there for different people at different points in time and different tasks. And so the challenge for each of us, whether it's as an employer, an educator, or even for just ourselves, is to think through how to combine and integrate those different sources of motivation. The second is that no matter how motivated someone is, they're going to run into barriers. And everyone's highlighted this notion of failure. And perhaps it's the biotech geek in me that thinks of it in this way. But if you think about vaccines, the way vaccines work is you challenge the immune system with a little challenge. And in doing that, you teach the body how to respond if a true infectious disease were to attack the body. So essentially, you give the body a little challenge. It's now ready for if it were to be attacked by the disease. Can we think about failure the same way? Can you give students little failures over the course of their educational career so that they're more confident that they know how to overcome failure? Can we cultivate this environment of permissive failure? I think we could. If we combine those two, can that then cultivate a culture of persistence so that people are not only motivated, but they've got the confidence that they can power through the failure in order to overcome all the challenges that we know folks have. So with that, I'll turn it over.